Hey team, hope you're doing well. Today's topic I wanted to go over tempo runs on a treadmill versus outside. And the reason why I'm making this video is another question that I received from Karen Patino. She asked, is it okay to do tempo runs on a treadmill so that you can control the speed, or is it better to do it on a track? Obviously, there's benefits to both of these, okay? If the weather conditions outside are extremely hot, and if you're going out and you're doing a tempo run in 95 to 100 degree heat, right off the bat, you're more than likely not going to perform or hit the types of splits that you were aiming for versus if it was cooler conditions, if it was 40 degrees or 50 degrees Fahrenheit outside. So yes, over the years, I've done endless amounts of tempo runs on the treadmill versus going outside and doing them on the track. Obviously, it's much better to do a tempo run outdoors versus indoors, because again, outdoors you have the weather conditions. It could be windy. You have to also keep in mind there is no wind resistance when you're running indoors on a treadmill. So most cases it's wise to either put the treadmill on a 0.5% or 1% incline, so it kind of equals, and 1% is basically roughly equivalent to running outdoors, and it kind of equals out the wind resistance that you don't have indoors. But it's definitely, you're not having any less of a workout or doing any less preparation by doing a tempo run on a treadmill versus if you were running outside. I think a lot of athletes get caught up in thinking that treadmill running is somehow less of a workout versus running outside. In some cases, like I said, if you're running on with no incline indoors and you don't have any wind resistance, you're not really getting the same type of effect as if you were training outside, but you're still getting a great workout. You're still stressing the energy systems of your body. And again, you want to make sure that you teach the body to run at very, very hard, aggressive efforts for short to moderate periods of time when you're running at your VO2 max. So again, you recruit more fast twitch muscle fibers by running at these extreme paces. And by doing that, you teach the body to clear lactic acid more effectively, and so that you can run at your goal race pace more efficiently over a longer period of time versus your competitors that may have not done their homework on the treadmill or outside for a long enough period of time. Again, this is why I always teach in my courses and on my training plans, the way I have those set up, is the importance of focusing on one intensity for roughly 3 to 4 weeks before you move to the next intensity. Okay, tempo runs are very important because again, they help you to teach the body to rely on what you have much more of, and that is fat storage, and help you to conserve what you have much less of, which is carbohydrate, glycogen storage. Okay, the more we train at these intense efforts, the more effectively we're going to be able to improve our body's lactate tolerance. So yes, it's okay to do tempo runs on the treadmill. Like I said, sometimes, if it's icy outside, if you're dealing with winter temperatures, it's just much more wise to jump on a treadmill and to lock in on a specific intensity versus if you're going outdoors and it's 5 degrees outside and it's snowing or it's blizzard conditions or it's super icy out there. It makes no sense to try to do a tempo run on the track or on the roads in those types of conditions. Get on the treadmill. You're going to get much more of a psychological impact, positive psychological impact by running at faster paces, being able to lock in on that particular pace that you have in mind on a treadmill. But also keep in mind, you don't always want to run it at 0% incline when you're running on a treadmill. You don't want to make the workout so easy that you continue to run every single workout that you do on the treadmill, especially when it comes to tempo runs. You do want to tax the energy systems of the body, so make sure that you're running at a minimum of 0.5% incline, but preferably at 1% incline when you're doing tempo runs on the treadmill. And you don't have to do that every single treadmill or every single tempo run that you do on the treadmill, but maybe do it every other week when you're doing treadmill workouts. And it's not just tempo runs. If you're doing a fartlek workout, or if you're doing maybe hill repetitions on a treadmill, okay, maybe you're running at a 3% incline and you're doing 1 minute repetitions at a 3% incline, or 45-second repetitions at 3% incline. Trust me, if you're running at 3% incline on a treadmill, you're going to feel that. And depending on the intensity that you're running at, okay, you trying to run it, say if you're trying to run say a 2:36 marathon, that comes out to 6-minute mile pace. So running at 6-minute mile pace on a 3% incline is going to feel like you're running around 450 mile pace. Again, it's just depending on the athlete and where you're currently at in your buildup. But it's definitely okay to do tempo runs on a treadmill versus outside. And even if the weather conditions outside are perfect, maybe it's light wind and the temperature is reasonable, and you just feel like you want to change up the environment, then do a treadmill workout. Do a tempo run on a treadmill, mix it up a little bit, and then go outside as well the following week. So alternate that. Or on the track. The track is the best option without a doubt, in my opinion, because it's flat. And again, doing tempo runs outside is always your best preparation versus running on a treadmill. It's definitely, you're still going to get a great workout doing a tempo run on a treadmill versus outside, but you want to make sure that you're training outside as much as possible as you can, because you want to experience the tougher conditions. You want to make sure that you're preparing for if it's rainy or windy or in your next race. You're not going to get those types of conditions running indoors unless you put yourself in that 0.5% or 1% incline. So again, keep those things in mind. Definitely there's benefits, pros and cons to both running indoors on a treadmill, doing tempo runs on a treadmill indoors, as well as training outdoors. But again, make sure that your build-up is effective in how you're preparing for your races. Don't run 90% of your weekly volume aerobically and 10% or less anaerobically, because again, you're just going to become a very strong, long, slow distance runner if you do that. Start thinking about, what do the very best middle to long distance runners do? They're running around 40% of their weekly volume at their lactate threshold, which is around 88 to 92% of their max heart rate. And that's the reason why they make racing look so easy. Okay, it's not just because they're Kenyan or Ethiopian, okay, or from other parts of the world. Okay, it's because they're running a higher percentage of their weekly volume at a higher intensity than their competition. So once they taper down, they focus on, in most cases, I've hit all my personal best over a 10-day taper. That's how I've set up my running courses and the training plans on RunDreamAchieve.com. We focus on a 10-day taper. That's plenty of time for your body to recover. If you start dropping your intensity and volume too far out from your goal race, you're more than likely going to feel flat. You want to go into a race feeling much more energized and motivated. And 10 days is plenty of time for your body to fully recover from the several months of preparation of doing these tempo runs on a treadmill or versus outside. You've really prepared yourself mentally as well. You've done the track workouts, you've done the hill repetitions, you've done the fartlek workouts, you've put in the heavy work. 10 days is plenty of time. So the biggest hurdle for most athletes is during the taper phase is feeling as though you're getting out of shape. You're not getting out of shape by doing less work going into that taper phase. It's just a challenge because you're so focused on, you've been in this routine of putting in consistent mileage and in most cases high mileage and doing these very hard workouts. When you start doing less in those 10 days, you start feeling like you're getting out of shape or you're going to feel flat. Trust me, if you do a 10-day taper rather than start dropping 3 weeks or 4 weeks out from your main event, you are going to start hitting some personal bests. You're going to really feel motivated and ready rather than feeling flat. So I hope this video answers your question, Karen, in terms of tempo runs on a treadmill versus outside. If I left anything out, feel free to leave me a comment below. Or if you have any other questions or concerns about what you're dealing with in training, definitely leave me a comment. I will definitely respond back or make a video about your question or concern. So definitely check out the resources below all of my videos. Check out RunDreamAchieve.com. I have running courses, training plans, as well as one-on-one coaching if that's something you're interested in. Please like and share these videos. It helps the channel grow and a lot of other athletes around the world to see these videos. And if you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button and the bell icon so when I make a new video, you'll be notified of it. And I wish you all the best, Karen, in your training. All of you that are training for your particular events, I hope these videos and the resources you find on RunDreamAchieve.com will help you set a new personal best in your chosen event.